Yo! This is a scene for Sept of the Howling Wind, a War of the Apocalypse joint set in San Diego. So, Nico the vampire went over to www.here'sdarcysphonenumber.com, found it, and sent him a text message basically asking him if he would meet him at this address, letting him know that it is a local supernatural friendly establishment called Two Satyrs. And he basically just waits for Darcy to respond.
So Darcy sees the text and he's like, does everybody have my number? Is there a website? Oh my god. Apparently there is. Out of character. But yeah, Darcy will go ahead and say, yeah, okay, I'll meet you there. I trust I won't end up over there and then end up becoming some sort of vampire werewolf hybrid. Please no, I don't want this.
I'll text back, I don't think anyone wants that. Okay. Abominations are loathed by both.
And he's like, okay, 2 thumbs up. Appreciate that. See you there.
So when he gets there, he's basically sitting in a corner booth, just kind of actually very similar to his overlay, just kind of waiting.
So Darcy notices him, and then he kind of wipes his lips a little bit because he's nervous because meeting a vampire alone, that's not something he ever really thought he would ever do. So he kind of looks like he is on his overlay right now.
Yep, he waits.
He walks over, sits down.
He offers him a soft smile.
He smiles softly back, and he's kind of runs some fingers into his own hair. So, what did you want to meet about?
He thinks a moment, kind of taps his finger to his lip. I know this might sound crazy, but last night you were very distressed. I could tell you were struggling.
He looks down. There's just... I really, really want to help, and I'm scared I'm going to make the worst mistake. And I've been told to... I was told to watch Bailey. I was told to make sure that if he was guilty, punish him. If not, then don't. But I feel like there's no good choice. Anything I do, there's going to be something that happens.
Well, that's the nature of life.
I just don't want anybody else to die. And if that makes me feel like people see me as a dick or a hypocrite, I thought maybe, well, that's what I'll have to do.
Have you always been so concerned with the way people see you?
Yes. I mean, I think everybody is.
Softly.
I think everybody has that to a degree. It feels good when people appreciate you. Then again, I guess it got worse as I got older. I never really even cared about it when I was in school. I was definitely the weird kid, not really wanting to hang out with anybody and always in my head buried in books. My dad would have to bend me over backward just to try a sport. He grinned softly.
I'm not terribly familiar with the everyday uh, customs and habit of life. I know I know children go to school. I know people go to work. But you have to remember that for the past almost 200 years, I have been
In the shadow.
exactly. After a while, the day-to-day habits of humanity begin to blur. So I don't quite know what the current culture is.
I wouldn't say our culture is anything to be excited about. We have some things that are great, but we voted for Trump for goodness sake.
I can understand why, though.
He looks to him.
Well, more than half the country didn't suddenly lose control of their faculties, as much as people would love to seem to think so. The man had to have points that appealed to a base that proved to be the majority.
It's just sad that's the majority.
The majority just wants to be listened to. And he makes it seem as though he does. No one wants to be told what they're doing wrong, what they could be doing to make a world a better place. They want to hear what they're doing to make the world a better place, how they belong, what they do to contribute, and how they'll be protected. That's how he won.
He nods slowly. You're right.
I've seen the rise and fall of several dynasties. I've seen the rise and fall of kingdoms, families, governments. I watched this country in its infancy. You have to remember, when I was alive, this nation was, I think, within its first century. And beyond that, had gone to war with itself. So it had to build back up from that. It wasn't even fully a nation yet. The nation as we know it is only, he looks up and thinks, 60 years old, perhaps? There are people alive who weren't even a part of the 50 states of the United States of America, Alaska and Hawaii, joining within the lifetime of those who are alive now.
He furrows his brows. He then kind of looks at him, and he kind of looks at him into his eyes, and he says, "How old are you?"
I was born in the 1800s, the early 1800s.
Out of character, when did the White Howlers fall?
Oh, like pre-written history.
Okay.
Like a long. The last one's died. Like when there were 3 numbers to dates.
Okay. Now, when did the Croatoan fall?
A little bit before his time. Not terribly far, but a little bit. But he's also not from the United States. He's from Argentina.
True. Okay.
He's only been in the States a little bit. To his existence. It's been actually quite some time, but to his existence, he's only been in the States a little bit. My family were members of the aristocracy. My father was a merchant, the bastard of a noble line of Spain. The House of Mondego. So I led what some would call a privileged life. I married for both power and love. My wife was a woman apart. The way I came into my condition. He looks down sadly. First off, I didn't really have a choice on the matter. And second, it breaks my heart what happened in the first place.
Darcy kind of closes his eyes. I mean, I understand that.
Do you wish to know what happened?
If you'd like to tell me.
I was always a very active man. I kept myself fit, played what we considered sports, ran, swam. I was very involved in the arts and theater. Very heavily involved. I loved theater. Painting. My wife was an actress at the time. At that time, actually, it was not rare to see women on stage, but it was rare to see women of influence, of esteem. But she had a skill that no one would have denied her a spot on the stage. As much as it upset her parents, who kind of roll his eyes laughing.
He chuckles.
And I just noticed that I was getting winded so easily. I just couldn't breathe. I kept having this tickle at the back of my throat, and I just kept losing weight, coughing all the time. And one day I just started coughing up blood. My wife knew I had consumption. And my children, my family that were watching me die, wasting away before them. And I got to the point where I couldn't even get out of bed. I couldn't think. I almost couldn't breathe. You could hear the death rattle in my chest. And someone came to my wife, this man. He was beautiful. He told her that he could save me from death. That he had been a fan of mine, of our work. And that to lose me would be, the loss would be too great. Of course, she said yes. She didn't realize what she was saying yes to. She just didn't want me to die. So I was embraced.
That's what you call being turned into a vampire.
A lot. At first, I was furious. But in time, and with the help of my sire, I came to peace with what I had become. I chose to find the good in it instead of seeing myself as damned. My marriage, unfortunately, though, it did cost me my marriage. As my wife aged and I stayed eternal as I was, in a way, I think it broke her mind. And suddenly my children began to look older than me. And they distanced themselves. And then my grandchildren grew. Then they died. And their children grew and had children of their own, and they left this world. And I've watched a few generations of my family come and go. I think maybe that's why I'm so protective of Bailey.
Percy closes his eyes. I don't mean any harm to Bailey. His brows furrowing. All I want is for everybody to be happy. Sometimes I feel like I have to make these calls in order for other people to be happy, but it's not right to choose one person for the other. It's not right.
I don't have any words of comfort for you. I guess the closest I could say is that in all due time, things will fall as they should.
He looks at him and he says, "Well, you told me your story. Would you like to hear mine?"
Of course.
I was born in a hospital, same as any other kid. thought I was. My mom, she died giving birth to me. That was when the Morrisons, they saw me. They saw me and immediately fell in love, and they adopted me. Grew up just being your typical kid, just middle class, valedictorian mom, high school jock dad. Been together since high school. I was, I guess, pretty generic considering. I love to listen to Panic at the Disco. Oh, sorry. I love to listen to Panic at the Disco, read, stay in my room. I didn't really like to be around people. People were just crazy, you know what I mean?
In fact, I do.
Books were like my children. They kept me company. I could be anywhere I wanted to be if I was reading a book. I was different than everybody else because I could see people and I would just get so angry that everybody saw me as different, as weird, and then it just added more whenever I realized I was gay. Which, sure, I'm just one gay kid in a billion. That's whatever. I graduated high school, all A's. Never once really tried to be in any sport. Did track at, because my dad pleaded me to try some sort of sport. God, I hated exercise. It was just the worst, dude. Ugh. Meant I had to socialize, be a part of a team. See how people just judged me. Well, that went on, graduated with all A's, like I said. Then I went to college for law. I wanted to be a social worker. Wanted to help people who felt unfortunate. People who felt left out. Because I usually felt left out. But law school was crazy. Everybody hounding down, just beating things down my back. I thought I was going to go insane until I went out for a camping trip just trying to relax, and oh, here I go, I snap, and what do you know? I'm a guru. Kid who's never really exercised in his entire life is suddenly realizing he's a creature of war. I hated it. I didn't want to be guru. I didn't want to be who I am. And I hated that I had to be a part of something, a part of some sort of war that I never even signed up to be a part of. But I had to because, oh, it was in my blood and I changed. So whatever.
He reaches across the table and takes his hand.
He squeezes him.
Before I was vampire, I was kinfolk. My grandfather was a Shadow Lord.
Yeah, Bailey mentioned that. He takes a long, deep breath. I somehow managed to make it through from being a cub. But it took me not feeling like I fit anywhere because I didn't even want to, like, fight. I ended up becoming a Cliath as tribeless because I didn't want to be a part of anything. Even then, my family, who never even asked to be a part of this, they were forced to. Because they had to be told. They had to be told by some. I would have never told them. I would have kept them out. I would have saved them from this life. But no, they were stuck. And afterwards, I had to protect the veil, and so they had to become kinfolk, and just making things worse for them.
Darcy,
He looks at him.
I got my family out, not because I don't believe in the nation, but because I knew having an ancestor who was a vampire would be too much. Notice that I didn't ask Alyssa to leave. I took out Bailey and Selenia, their son, because Bailey has met us. He has always known the cruelty of the nation. To add to that, his ancestor being a vampire, with what he's already endured, with the ideas he has in his head where he is. I didn't ask him to leave the nation just and only for those reasons. You have to fight for what you believe in and shape the nation to be what you want it to be. Find others who see your banner in the sky, come to you. And there will be bloodshed, and there will be hurt. But scar tissue is stronger than skin.
He smiles.
Fights are not always won with fists. You want to protect everybody, and I swear to you, son, I understand what you mean. When I look at the suffering and the pain in this world, I think that I've seen it for 2 centuries. The span of 3 centuries, Bailey. Darcy, I'm sorry.
He chuckles softly.
I have lived through the 1800s, through the 1900s, and now into the 2000s, into a new millennia. I've seen so much suffering. Darcy, do you know what I had to live through?
I can't even imagine. I hate hearing that there's so much pain that I can't. I know that it's gonna hurt, and I know that there's so many people out there that are hurting, and I just want to help them. And the biggest thing that scares me is knowing that even by helping them, I'm gonna be hurting others.
He thinks a moment. You have to find a way to focus on the positivity. You are very focused on the negative.
I think that's because recently there has been a lot of negative. I haven't been like this until recently.
There are 3 types of people in this world. Okay, Darcy? I'm going to tell you what the 3 types of people are, and I'm very serious. All 3 people. All people can be put into these 3 categories, okay?
Okay.
There are positive people, there are neutral people, and there are negative people. Positive people are the kind of people who, when you are around them, it's a joy. You walk away from them feeling happy. They just make your day better. You know those types of people? The kind of people where just being around them, their smile, the way they speak, what they bring to the world is just light and love and happiness.
That's what people say about me. They laugh softly, or they used to.
Then you have people who are neutral. People who, when you meet them, they don't really give anything to your day, but they don't really take anything away. They're just there. The gray place marks in your life, the NPCs. You know?
You know,
I like to think of myself as one of those people very often. I remain fairly neutral.
an NPC.
He kind of chuckles. Then there are the negative people. The people who just are crisis prone. And who, when you talk to them, when they come up to you, oh, not this guy again. They just drag your day down. They make you feel small or frustrated or angry or worthless. You know those people?
He thinks of one person but keeps it to himself.
Now, the fact of the matter is that this is all energy. It's all the exchange of energy from one soul to another. But the problem is unfortunately, one of the complexities of being a human is our energy is finite. Truth?
He nods.
But every person that you exchange your energy with, it's an investment. Who are you investing your energy in, Darcy? And what sort of an investment are you to others?
When he says that, he kind of looks down and he thinks about the book that he read. He says, "You're right." How many times am I gonna have to go over this?
Until it sticks. It took me about 5 years to come to terms with what I was and what I had become and what it meant to me. Your entire world was changed on its head, and you're expected to become an entirely new person overnight? That doesn't happen.
I've only had a few years to get used to this.
I remember when my sire finally let me out from under his wing. Oh God, it was disastrous, actually. They made a fool of him in Elysium. By calling the prince a tyrant to his face.
It's like calling the king a tyrant. God.
He'll chuckle. A few years after my presentation, I actually walked away from our society. There are a few factions of our people. For a while, I was a member of what they call the Camarilla.
Sounds like a flower.
It does. But I walked away. I chose to follow the path of my own independence. I have 2 others that walk with me. We're what we call a coterie. It's like a pack.
Packs of vampires now. Oh, great. You get grins.
We're not Sabbat. Those are the ones you have to worry about. More than anything, actually, even I worry about them.
Hey, after a while, maybe I'll actually understand vampires. I
Well,
don't
what do you
understand.
want to know?
I really don't know where to start.
Why don't you ask me the rudest question you could probably think of just to break the ice?
Oh, okay.
About being a vampire, not in general. I'm sure you could get really creative.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
He basically said, yeah, he basically said, it's okay. He said, what's.
Oh, rudest question. Right. Thank you. Sorry. Lost train of thought because because Jesus was talking to me. So. Okay. He's thinking. Okay. If you're like, okay, this is gonna sound stupid because, but I don't really know anything about you guys. So like, you guys are like undead.
I don't choose to look at it like that, but go on.
Oh, well, I was gonna say, like, do you guys like eat brains or anything, or like, do you like actually eat people, or is it just the blood, or do you actually go nom 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 nom?
Some of us, although it's very rare, unfortunately have to consume the organs of humans, but it is very rare.
Ooh,
It's actually a very serious risk to the masquerade.
masquerade.
Mhm. Well, we have our own laws and rules we follow.
But you're an independent, aren't you?
There are some tenets of the masquerade that I do, most of them actually, that I do find to be wise to follow. I actually don't have so much of a problem with the masquerade, with the laws of Elysium and the Camarilla. It's more the people that I have a problem with.
Then question.
Mhm.
So you're independent, and you say it's because of the people.
Hmm.
Hmm. So are most just terrible, or
He thinks a moment. Most are just very, very political. When stripped away of families and the connection to reality, grounding them to some commonality, I suppose. When all you really have are each other for decades and then unto centuries. He just shakes his head. For instance, how many people from your kindergarten class do you still know and keep in touch with?
like none of them?
From your graduating high school class, which was only a few years ago.
None of them. I didn't remember. I didn't talk to people.
Exactly. Now, imagine being stuck in a society where the people that you had to interact with were the people from your kindergarten class forever.
He grimaces.
He nods. Could you imagine how political it would become?
uh, ugh. Like, I know I'm like a philodox and everything, and I'm supposed to be about laws and like politics and everything, but that's just too much.
Well, is your position to adhere to and follow the laws
Yes,
or to keep them?
we'll keep them.
Exactly. Everyone looks at Philodox as though they are the either the judge, jury, or executioner, or the paladins of the nation. That they must uphold the litany before anyone else. But one can say they're the ones that are most suited to poking holes in it.
He takes a very soft breath.
Oh, you never thought about that, had you? You have to realize most of the roles in the nation are arbitrary anyway. They vary from sept to sept, tribe to tribe. Darcy, you're tearing yourself apart for nothing. Sincerely. For something as ephemeral as a wisp of smoke. If you had a tiger sitting in front of you right now who were to lunge at you, I would understand. That is a real threat. Last night, where was the threat coming from? I simply said that I was going to take Bailey, and we were going to go, and we would make our own way. We would strike our own path. And the young woman present said that we should leave. Why?
She acted like you guys would be hunted down like dogs.
For
I
what?
don't want to be a part of something that does that.
Now, I can understand if on an individual level, some of us can interact. But if our two societies on a whole do not complement each other, and thereby distance must be maintained, I can understand fully how vampires and werewolves may need to stay on separate sides of the fence. And how taking a lover from either side might be a bit much to digest. How trying to build the bonds of family between the two might be a bit much to digest. I can understand. But the individuals of a society are not the society themselves. They are those which create the society. Therefore, I don't have a problem with individuals coming together to share experience, to have an exchange of minds.
The way I see it, if we can gain information, like, that's not what I was worried about. Like, I was there to double check on things. I wasn't trying to just judge Bailey right off the bat. Then, oh, just I was trying to be very fair and listen, and it just all came out wrong.
Because it wasn't your position, Darcy.
It's what I was told to do.
Ergo, where is your conviction?
He looks down. I was giving conviction, just the wrong kind. You said it yourself. I was standing up for what I believe. He almost grimaces.
No, Darcy. You were standing up for what someone else believed in. And that is so dehumanizing.
He slowly nods. I mean, the way I see it, people should be able to talk. That's fine. Whatever. Like, I had no problem with you guys talking last night. The only thing that I see is if a vampire and Galoo were to fall in love. They have to be not, they can't be a part of the nation. And that's sad. But I don't see any way around that.
For the most part, honestly, it would also get you. That will also get you blacklisted from our communities as well.
I know it's. But other than that, no law was broken.
No. And I'm not saying laws aren't important. I'm not saying that laws aren't in place for a reason, or that laws shouldn't be respected.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're gonna say that laws are meant to be broken, I would say, gosh, you must be listening to Alexi. I don't know how you got a hold of him and why he's even talking to you, because he's Petrova, but
Unjust laws are made to be broken. But by their very nature, laws are not unjust. They are no longer laws at that point. At that point, you're dealing with. He'll shake his head. At that point, you're dealing with the tools of oppression. It was a law during the times of the Holocaust for Jews to wear stars upon their clothes. Should those laws have not been broken?
I mean, all that I really want to do is to bring inspiration to people. Everybody's so stuck in the mud and so aggravated and so stressed out, and we're all thinking about war, and we're all thinking about death, and we're all thinking about how one thing after the other is just tearing people apart. Why can't we just be happy for once?
Why? Because then you would actually see change, progress, and good.
He just throws his hands up.
Who wants that? Who would want such a silly thing?
Me. That's what I would want.
You've seen I saw a movie recently. I actually did set aside my myself for a moment to watch a movie. I went to see Infinity War. And Thanos struck me as a very interesting and complex character until you realize why Thanos was a villain. The Infinity Gauntlet has the ability to basically create something of nothing, to bend reality, to harness infinity itself, correct?
He nods.
He uses it to destroy half of whatever society he comes across, and then the universe. Because resources are finite. And creatures are dying because they're not happy, because they're wasting resources, correct?
He nods.
So he destroyed half of everyone instead of doubling the resources.
That's exactly what we're doing. We're always fighting. We're always at war. Darcy just kind of stops for a second.
To
Why
people
are we...
like to people like Thanos, destruction is the only answer. All he knows is to destroy.
Darcy trembles a little bit as he's coming to a realization. We're creatures of war. Take away what we all know. And that scares people. People like Adelheid who have to have one battle after the other for glory and honor. But why? For Gaia? No. It's for himself. Glory and honor is all something that you wear with pride, not for anybody else. It's not anybody else's accomplishments, it's your own. And the more you're gaining that, the more that you can be a total dick. If you're so focused on glory, honor, trying to be respected, you're not yourself anymore. You're what everybody else wants you to be.
He smells them.
So why are we creatures of war? What battle are we actually doing? Creatures of the worm? Creatures of the weaver? Creatures of the wild? Vampires? Fomori? What? What are we actually fighting? Ourselves? Because that's what it seems like we're doing. We just keep attacking each other, bringing more war, and then just struggling and gnashing our teeth and just feeling anxiety, marrying people off who don't want to marry, putting people in positions they don't want to be in, telling people who when they can and can't marry. Why are we creatures of war?
You have to he'll be quiet and listen.
I get that we're wolves and we're human, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we have to be creatures of war, air quotes. Just means that we understand both our primal side and our rational thought. We have two aspects. Doesn't necessarily make us monsters or make us have to fight. No, it just means that we can protect things. It doesn't mean war. Sorry, I just kind of ranted there for a second.
I'm listening to you.
He looks at him.
He smiles.
Am I wrong? Or are we just doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result?
He lets the silence answer itself. Like, he doesn't want to answer. He'd rather Darcy like answer himself.
And he just kind of like takes a very soft breath and he said, yeah, we've done the same thing for however long. We've lost shifter tribes because they weren't what we wanted. It was another battle. Time and time again, we've lost people. White Howlers. They were so focused on war, they just completely became consumed with destruction. Suddenly, he starts trembling. Darcy does. Maybe that's why maybe that's my purpose. Here I am. My father is of the purest black spiral dancer pure breed. So I'm born in the tribe that all they cared about is destruction. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. Change it so we can smile. Show people that they don't have to fight. Show people that not every day is a constant war.
He smiles softly.
Oh God. You know, if you told me that I would be doing this like a year or two from ago, I would have been like, "You're insane." Me telling all this to a vampire, and then like going against everything that I've ever been told. I'd say you're fucked up and you're insane and get out of my face, you little hoe.
He smiles.
So like, I guess, but like nobody could really use like the Infinity Like, I mean, oh yeah, sure. I'll get the Infinity Gauntlet, double everybody's resources. Uh, uh, uh.
Okay, what you can actually do is teach people how to become a wise investment of their energy. Take this lesson I've taught you and help people to realize what kind of person they are. Help them to become neutral, if not positive people. And don't yourself become one of the negative people in doing so. And if you see someone who's negative, understand you may not be able to help them. And also try to figure out if they are a transient negative person. Can I explain what that means?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sometimes a person is not inherently negative. They're negative because of circumstance. They have a relative dying of cancer, or the job that they're doing is just really draining the life out of them.
You know, I actually know a negative person, but I think I need to talk with them, and because I did help him bring some good into his life. I think he
Who's
needs
that?
more help. His name is Xavier.
I'll nod at him.
He was a Lex Barrel dancer who was going to be killed because he wouldn't convert.
Wow. The fact that no one sees anything wrong with that statement. He just shakes his head.
He nods.
I'll smile at him.
He smiles back.
We should do this again.
Have like vampire brunch every now and then?
Well, more
Well,
like
dinner. No, not dinner. More
I don't
like
think you want me to make a snack of you in the first place.
yeah, and I wouldn't say drinks either because then it's
That has a whole new connotation.
I,
I prefer not to drink from you.
I would think like if we go out for like wine or something, I would just be judging you.
Can't drink it anyway. It won't do anything.
Well, I for no for one, it wouldn't be wine. That
I don't plan on making you a part of my cellar.
you have a cellar?
Oh, not literally. I have a dedicated group of people who I feed from.
Do like they just come up to you and be like, "Suck on me, baby."
No, I just know that I can go to them for feeding.
They're just like, "I have my neck ready." Oh wait, here's the vein.
Well,
He
I
just he
I I,
taps his
I
arm.
prefer I prefer the wrist, but yes.
Oh, so they just go up to you like they have their wrist out, they start tapping it, be like, I got the vein out ready. Here you go. Num num.
You know what? This is your story. Tell it how you want to. Not quite. There are vampires who hunt and who go about it in the typical fashion, but I'm not one of them.
Does different like bloods taste different? Do you like see certain people and you're just like, that person smells really good. I want some of that. Like
Yes, actually. And I do
it's
have
like,
my preferences.
is it like, are you racist? Are you like always wanting Caucasians?
No. No. I prefer women, but
Oh my. I bet you just walk up to them and you just like lick your lips and be like, I want some of
not quite.
that.
Usually they can tell that I need to feed, and they'll shrug.
That sounds really weird too. They can tell when I'm in need.
You cast this as far more sensual than it is.
I don't know. Have you seen vampires in movies? It's like sex, 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 blood, sex, 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 blood, sex, sex,
I
sex, romance, blood.
no.
How,
Tova is the first person I've been with in over 150 years.
okay, so it's not like the movies where it's like a group orgy and bloodbath.
I not in my circles. Mm. Bennett, Bennett, my one of my coterie members used to be more active. He enjoyed the experience of pleasure, not the feeling. It's numbed. It's dulled a little bit. The feeling of sex. So
Oh, so you have to go like rough to feel it.
no, I just don't feel it so much. It's not to be a vampire is to be robbed of the depth of the pleasures of life. So food is ash in my mouth. Drink doesn't do anything for me. Sex is it's enjoyable. It's just not what and then it's just a shrug. It takes a lot out of you. You have to use a measure of your reserves to even do it in the first place, to attain arousal. So
I think Ninika's watching us. She's judging me.
so I I don't really engage in those sorts of things.
Okay, well, like, okay.
I think it's because people have this notion of vampires using seduction to lead people off to feed from them.
I mean, like, in most movies, vampires are really hot, so.
I'll think. I can't imagine why. We're not particularly any more or less attractive than anyone else. I mean, I suppose because
You're the one saying this, though. Like, are
I,
you really one to talk?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Okay, Mr. Beautiful Scowl over here. God.
Am I attractive? What kind of furrow his brows?
I'm pretty sure that that Tova likes you more than just your personality.
I blink. He'll kind of look over in a mirror and kind of like furrow his brows. Well, okay then.
Wait, you can see yourself in a mirror? I thought that was like you
I'm
couldn't do
not a
that.
Lo Sombra.
What's a La Sombra?
It's one of our types. I'll just oh lord.
Is it your type? Well, no, it's not your type.
I can see myself in the mirror. The Lo Sombra cannot see themselves in the mirror.
Oh wait, you said you're a Toreador, right? Didn't you say that earlier?
Yes, that is my clan.
Okay. So that's Tova's type. She likes the Toreadors.
I don't think she knows my clan in the first place. So I don't think that's what it is. And my coterie member, who is also a Toreador, looks nothing like me. He's older.
He's not super beautiful too.
I wouldn't know. I'm not attracted to men.
Okay.
So kind of spread his hands. Like I can judge a man on the beauty of his aesthetic. He's aesthetically I suppose a handsome man. He's got short silver hair and he's a little bit scruffy. About 6 feet tall, pale. He has blue eyes. So blue they're almost silver.
Girl, are all Toreadors hot?
He blinks. You can come to our next recital and see for yourself. We'll just kind of shrug.
Okay, if I come, does that like? I just okay. I'm sorry, it's still really new for me for all of this stuff, and
You have yet to ask me anything to offend me. You're fine.
I know. I just got the mental image of going to your uh recital. Is that what you said?
Salon, recital, we have many different words for it, but
Well, yeah. I just had a mental image of me going there and just being jumped by vampires and being like drained dry.
I know. He'll shake his head. That would be
Okay,
so inelegant.
then you would do it in a
Killing,
very elegant way. You would just
he'll hold
like,
his hand up and say, first off, killing people is a threat to the masquerade. You can't just kill someone. That's, I mean, I suppose legally there are no ramifications beyond that of law in killing someone, but it threatens the law to just kill someone. You run the risk of being exposed when you do that. So most people don't kill when they feed.
you're actually helping me a lot. I really appreciate that I'm learning all these things about vampires. So like,
But
question. In case like there's like one that's just running straight at me, is there any like weakness? I'm not gonna try to kill you, I promise.
as most are want to do, naturally when you stab something in the heart with a stake, it'll die. Vampires are subject to that as well. But for the most part, it's just your Garu. Most honestly, most of us can't take on a full Garu just going at it.
So just go
I
at it.
mean, we're vulnerable to sunlight, but unless you want to pin us down for a couple of hours, and that's at that point, whatever it was that was happening, you are subjecting to someone final death.
He nods. And he says, okay, well then like basically if I am in a battle with like a vampire that's just coming at me, if I have like a gift to bring in sunlight, that could just kill them.
It would most likely, unless you flooded the entire plane of battle, hurt them very, very severely. It takes a while to die of sunlight. Like the whole dramatic. I've seen sunlight since I've become like this. I've seen the sun. It hurts very badly. It begins to blister our skin, but you can do it long enough to see the sunlight and feel it on your skin for a few moments. It's not that quick.
So you don't like immediately burst into flames and turn to a pile of ash.
No. As
Oh,
I understand it, it's akin to you being stabbed with silver or being exposed to a silver weapon. It hurts. It's not something you want to do for a long time, but I can't sit here and say, oh, I haven't seen the sun in 2 centuries. No, I saw the sun like 3 days ago.
okay. So that thing.
Ran from the room I was in.
So now that I know that you know that our weakness is that, you haven't told anybody that, have you? Like, please don't tell people that. I mean, I know it's
I'm
like
not saying that it's not common knowledge,
it's.
but it's only in every werewolf fiction ever.
I know it's in werewolf fiction, and people assume, but like it's not like obvious.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If it makes you feel better, I won't go around telling people your weaknesses. I was planning on printing out flyers and just flying around town, but no.
It's just like I'm Superman over here. And you're just like, hey, anybody want some kryptonite? I got some kryptonite for sale.
Any other questions?
Hmm. Okay. You said that there's Clan Toreador and Clan Lasombra, and then you've
Mhm.
mentioned like there's like different places like there's Sabat, and then there's Camarilla,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like independent of both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So like, okay, if there's Sabat and Camarilla, is there any others? Like, just so we can get this out of the way.
They're all. I'm not familiar with the in depth of all of them. To be honest, I don't know the Sabbat that well.
Like, you just like tell me about them and like, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. You can talk. We can talk to more about this later.
No, I literally just don't know some of them. I'm not. I'm not that much of a scholar to our own ways.
So you are the athletic type. You're the one who doesn't spend time in books. You're the one that's like, I'm gonna get some exercise.
No, I'm an artist.
Oh yeah, that's right. So you're like a model too. You're like a model artist.
No, no, I'm a painter, but I'm also in theater. Remember?
Yes. Well, I just got the mental image of you saying like, paint me like one of your French girls. It was just a thought.
Darcy,
Like,
do you want to paint me like one of your French girls?
no, thank you. He pats his shoulder.
He shakes his head.
I think people would very much judge me if I did that.
I know
Eh,
people would very much judge you if you did that.
He nods. Yeah, no, thank you. That's not no. I'd rather learn more about you, your kind, and everything, and get all that information because that would be helpful and stuff. But yeah,
I can tell you
no.
as much as I know, but once we start going past what I know, then we'll shake his head.
Hey, but like I can learn about like vampires and things, and I can learn about like history and things. You probably know a lot more about like ancient stuff, so that's cool. I could get some knowledge about that, and like
I need to point out that when we're dealing with things from, say, the Mesopotamian era, I'm only 200 years or so closer to it than you are. I'm not that old.
well, I know that, but you
I
have
don't
some
really
knowledge.
think that the BC era is any more real to me than it is to you. Okay.
What languages do you know?
Mm, that actually shuts up. That I actually know quite a few.
He gasps.
I know. I'll think. Well, what sort of languages are you interested in?
Uh, all of them? Um, I mean, but like ancient ones are really interesting. The ones that you don't have. There, like I've learned Latin. I've learned. I have to look at the sheet. God dang it! There's so many.
Do you know Assyrian? I'll kind of shrug and think.
Assyrian? No. I mean, I know Arabic. I know like Latin. I don't know a lot of the of dead languages yet. I've been researching them, but I know like most common languages like English, Spanish, Japanese, Russian, French, German.
Um, kind of thinks a moment. There's Chaldean, Etruscan,
I could learn ancient
Aramaic.
Egyptian. Aramaic. Oh God. Okay.
I do know Aramaic.
Okay. Go on.
I can read Linear B, but that was on the Rosetta Stone. That's not that complicated. Spanish, Portuguese, I think.
Okay. Do you know any languages that I would not be able to learn online? Because there's plenty of these I can learn online.
Uh, I'm not very familiar with the internet.
Oh, well, is there any, he does air quotes, supernatural languages? Like, say, is there like ancient vampire texts or like,
Yeah,
I
I'm not
don't
about
know.
to teach you those.
Why not? I would love to learn those.
Because I would prefer you not die.
Oh.
Can we start off maybe with, I don't know, Cherokee or Navajo? Just something, just little fingers, just something small, okay?
I'm go big or go home. Good lord.
Icelandic Basque Pigeon.
Okay.
Listen, I have to stress upon you that although we are allies, that doesn't mean that our people are okay with us being allies. And if I taught you, I don't know, Enochian, I would probably get killed. I prefer not to suffer final death. I haven't lived this long by being stupid.
He nods. So like people are watching us right now, right? They're like,
Well, they're not like fucking honing in on them. They're not talking that loud, but yeah. But that's mainly the big problem is I don't want you to I don't want you to come across just kind of touch his lip. I don't want to teach you something that's going to be a risk to you. As far as languages go, yes, there are several languages I know that are. He'll kind of roll his hands, thinking, rare.
it's just I want to learn some that I don't want to that I because okay. There's this guy named Johan that he always knows like every other language before I do, and it's kind of aggravating because I really want to learn some languages that he just doesn't know. I'm sorry.
One of the indigenous languages of the Australian.
Okay, yes, let's do that.
I'll nod.
I'm just sorry, it's aggravating. Being all like, oh yeah, we can just go to Johan. Johan knows all the languages. And I'm just like, but I tried. Oh, I tried.
We should just totally stab Caesar.
Can we? I mean, I can't. No, that's there's a litany, and I can't do that. It's not good to kill people, Darcy. No.
It's not good to kill people.
He was your previous pack mate. Don't be saying, yeah. Let's not kill your old pack mate. Even though he did leave your pack, and it was all like, "Oh, your pack is not good enough for me. I want to be back with Coyote, even though I left them to be in your pack." And then I know all these languages that you're not going to know, and you need to calm down. Good lord.
He folds his hands over his stomach and just starts listening. It's okay, keep going.
Okay, well, like, I love Johan. Johan's amazing and everything, but Jesus Christ, why does he have to know everything? And I just feel so. And he starts fanning himself and pacing
Does
back and
he
forth.
actually know everything, or does he just portray the air that he knows everything because it's what he uses as his shield?
He's just got us to be better than everyone, and I hate that.
Wow.
He's Regina George, and I'm Gretchen, okay?
The Gretchen to your Regina, I see.
I just want to stab Caesar!
He just takes his precious little hand in his hand. It's okay. Get it out. Are you okay?
I am fine.
You sure?
I'm fine.
Everything's fine. This is fine.
I won't kill Caesar.
I'll kill Caesar. It's bad. I don't even know this fellow.
He's great, okay? He's great, okay?
Everything's great.
It's just great. I love you, Johan, and I'm sorry.
I can't tell if you're laughing or crying right now.
I'm doing both. Don't judge me.
I'm not judging you. I just don't know how to help you because
Don't judge me. Everybody judges me.
you'll just think
You judge more than a
me.
Philodox.
Just lets him get it out. I'm so judgmental. You're right. I should work on that.
I mean, it doesn't help that you have like that icy stare and resting bitch face, okay? It just feels like okay, you look like
Resting
Bailey.
bitch face.
Okay, you look like Bailey. He cups his cheeks and he says, Bailey is a Philodox, and it just feels like both of you are judging me all the time.
And
you are both Shadow Lords, and it's just so much.
I wasn't even a Shadow Lord in life.
But you were a kinfolk, and it's just in your blood.
It's okay. I was a Shadow Lord.
Okay.
It's fine.
At least you accept it. And he pats his cheeks and steps back.
I obviously must not have changed. I was supposed to change later in life, and then vampire.
Yeah, just yeah. He gives him 2 thumbs up.
Volapuk. Would you like to learn Volapuk?
Ooh, that sounds interesting. Okay.
It's a created language. Let's not actually do that one because I just remembered that the man who created Volapuk is named Johan.
He chokes.
He felt God came to him in a dream and told him to. Let's not do that one. Take your time. Let me think of another. Oh, hold on. I know other ones. Hold on.
Just talk him. God damn it, Johan.
I know others. Hold on. I know many languages. I've had time to study so many, and it's like a code. Once you learn one, others start to kind of fall in place. I swear I got this. Okay. He's really thinking about it.
I'm just going to learn all the languages I can from you and not teach Johan a single one.
A single one. All the languages for you. Rubs his face.
He just starts walking back and forth, cackling maniacally.
I could teach you Nuan.
Nuan? What about Old Anne?
Wow. It's a Polynesian language. It's very similar to Hawaiian. Probably what, if you were to watch that movie with the girl, and the pig and the chicken, I never saw it.
The girl, the pig, and the chicken. Okay.
With the ocean.
It's not clicking.
There's a girl, and she has a chicken.
And
she's on a boat, and there's a pig in the ocean.
Okay. And like, this is gonna help me at all.
There's a girl, and she has a chicken and a pig.
On a boat in the ocean, okay.
And there's a boat in the ocean. I didn't see it.
Okay, like I don't know what it is, and you're trying to explain a movie that you don't know to somebody who doesn't even know if he's even seen it.
There's a girl
With and a pig and a chicken on the ocean
on
and
the
about
ocean on a boat.
they're in a boat. They're in a boat. Everybody look at me because we're on a motherfucking boat.
And she takes the pig and the chicken, and I don't know where she goes because I didn't see the stupid movie.
A pig and oh, I haven't seen the movie either. Is it Moana?
Thank you. I think it was called Moana.
Okay.
That would probably be the language that Moana spoke.
Okay, I would love to learn that.
Okay.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go and go check on Xavier now.
Come on.
I think I've had enough screaming and yelling and complaining about Johan.
This has been a very, very fun conversation. No, not.
Now you're going to be looking at every Johan you meet and be like, is this that Johan? God damn it.
I will personally look for the Johan.
Please don't. And please don't call him the Johan. That will just add to his ego. Please. Please don't.
I can't tell if you're in love with this man or you hate him.
It's a little bit of both. He's
Okay.
great and terrible at the same time.
I feel like just one strong session would really help you two.
Oh my god! Hate and love. Hove. Kind of like Toe. I'm sorry! I'm sorry!
He's just laughing. I only seem like I have resting bitch face. I don't actually have resting bitch face.
No, it's not resting bitch face. I think you just look like you're constipated all the time.
I can't even. I haven't.
Maybe that's why you're constipated, is you can't even.
Oh my god. I think the last time I engaged of any sort of bodily function, the Ottoman Empire still stood.
Like, okay, question. If you're
Mhm.
drinking all this blood, where does it even go?
Gets used.
It just like excretes out your stomach into your own blood?
Yes.
That is creepy. That's like, you know what?
What?
I guess that makes sense though, because like the nutrients, whenever you eat food, it just kind of like you get that energy, and I'm just gonna stop.
But you're the one last night who was saying that I'm set apart from nature, and yet actually.
It's weird thinking that you have a functioning, but how do you even work? He starts lifting up his arms and looking.
Like, he'll grab his hand and pull him into the other room. Oh my god, you child. he'll strip his jacket and his shirt off. No funny ideas. Go. We'll let him look at him.
Okay, what, like how do you work?
What do you mean? How do I work?
Like how does like your body function? Like
Okay, well, first off, I'm less pale than most of my vampire brethren. I don't know why, but I still retained a bit of my color. Most vampires are actually much paler than I am.
so you're like the Hispanic version of vampires.
Literally, but sure.
Maybe that's
I don't
why
know.
he spreads
Huffing.
his hands.
He'll think a moment, and he'll. I can't really think of anything I can do that using my blood would. I'll think. Chew his lip a little bit. To be honest, and I'm not doing this for you, the only thing really that I can think of that using my blood for that you could see on a bodily form would be to excite myself. That's really it. Oh, no. Oh, wait. Yes, there is one thing I could do, but it doesn't feel great. On my end, he'll hold his hand out for his.
He offers his hand.
He'll put it on his chest over his heart. And he'll spend a blood point to make his heart beat for a couple of seconds. It won't last long. But
he immediately gets creeped out. Like, it wasn't.
Yeah, he'll wince and just kind of
That was not beating before.
Yeah, I know. He'll shudder and kind of like, okay. he'll move Darcy's hand off his chest like gently.
Okay.
That actually hurts, to be honest. Not excruciating pain, more of a like a strong ache, like when you haven't used a muscle for too long and you try to move it, like that. My heart is very tender. I'll kind of rub his chest. I'm used to using my legs, my arms, the other parts of me, but my heart doesn't really beat very much, nor do my innards, my lungs, my heart, my intestine. They don't get used. So
that's still really weird.
You tell me.
Like, okay, usually the heart is what helps feed like the activity of the brain. So how does your brain even function?
I don't know. I know that I have to use a measure of my reserves to animate myself in the morning. Well, my morning, he'll air quote, in the beginning of the evening. No, I don't sleep in a coffin, by the way.
Okay, so you just dispelled another stereotype of mine. Thank you very much.
Just sleep in a bedroom. I have one of those, in a bathroom.
Do you avoid garlic and crosses?
I don't eat in general, so garlic doesn't hold much appeal for me.
Well, like, okay, it doesn't mean that you have to eat it. Like putting garlic in front of a door and everything keeps vampires out.
Not one of those.
Okay. And crosses, can you like enter like a church, or do you like immediately start wincing in pain, go like, ah?
Catholic. I'm Catholic.
Okay.
He'll put his shirt back on and sit down.
Well then. Anyways, I'll see you later, good sir. Was just nice talking with you. Let's not, yeah, and have a good day.
You too.
Okay. And he does a little wave and heads off to to go find Xavier.
for his overlay. Hold on. No, that's not what I wanted to do. That's porn, actually. That would have been bad. Zay, where are you? Where are you, asshole? Here he is. Fish! There he is.
There we go. You will have to change the Black Spiral Dancer because he's a Warden of the Lost now.
I'm so lazy. But yes.
Yes, you are. No.
Why you like that? Okay, yes.
So yeah, Darcy comes over. He's like, he's a guardian over here now. So yeah, going inside the roots.
He'll find Xavier basically kind of sitting. He growls lightly when he approaches. It's better than what he used to do, so that's good.
He smiles sweetly and he's like, "Hey, how are you?" He sits down in front of them.
Oh, fuck you. But he doesn't say it. I have to look. Nah. He glares at him.
So how are you doing being a guardian under punches?
I'm a guardian under Gogolfing's fist.
Yep.
Yes.
You sure are. Anyway, so what I wanted to ask you is, would you, good sir, like to be a part of a pack?
His eyes narrow.
He smiles so sweetly at him. He gives him heart hands.
I suppose it would probably help perceptions of me. I don't know why I care. He's thinking to himself.
And he's like, "You want to join the pack because you love me." He just smiles so sweetly at him. That laugh was out of character, by the way.
He'll smile. He nods.
Okay. Well, actually, if you are to join our pack, I actually have something that I need to ask you. I love you too. Anyway,
Love is not the first emotion that I would go to involving you.
it's admiration and respect.
Naturally.
Exactly. Anyways, so like, we would be going, well, so I'm like having visions now.
You've gone mad. Fantastic. He just lays back.
Well, no, I saw a vision inside Wolfhome. And I've been told that the I might have had a vision to find the last known clave of the White Howlers.
To rip your throat out. Go on.
He smiles and he's like, I mean, you could try.
He closes his eyes.
Okay. Well, what I need is help from Lupus on going through Wolfhelm.
What the hell do I look like? Hulk, Miss Daisy?
Yes!
Oh, well, at least you said it. He'll lay back again.
And he just pats his shoulder and he's like, I appreciate you, Xavier. What? Do you think I'm not confident or something? He just grins.
No, I know you're not, but
Says the person who fear peed. I mean,
he'll just shake his head.
he blows him a kiss. But all honesty, Xavier, he like stops the joking around.
If you say something loving and insightful to me, it's feel good and warm, I'm going to rip your face off, I swear to God. Oh my God.
No, what I was gonna say is, you're in Arun. How many times have you actually like fought today? I think you're like the only guardian here.
Gets up and bolts for him in a violent fashion.
Okay, dice roller.
I'm too lazy. Kick his ass.
So Darcy moves
It
out of
actually
the
would be a pretty fucking hard fight. He actually
yeah.
can ow. He is Arun.
Okay. So the first thing that he would do is like, okay, he is Arun, so let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and look at the things that he can do. Let's go. Okay. What's his dexterity and brawl in Hominid?
4 and 5.
Ooh, okay. So yeah, he may actually pummel Darcy if he isn't careful. Then again,
I
Darcy
mean,
can.
or we can say he kicks Darcy's ass, and there you go. Darcy's probably not going to say that again. Like, oh, that's how many fights you've had today. You only needed one. Got it. How about this? How about this? How about this? Him and Xavier are fighting, and it's not going well for either side, to be honest. And
Yeah.
his father pulls him apart.
Darcy like wipes blood off of his face and he just
What
smiles.
are you two doing? He says.
He needed to get some rage out.
Fucking masochist. He says.
He gives him heart. He spits a tooth out and gives him heart hands.
Shake his head. Let's just set him down.
I love
Throw
you.
fucking Xavier, like, fuck off.
I wanted him to be a part of the pack, and like, I want to make sure that he respects me well enough.
Wow. Okay. He'll just like shake his head.
He shrugs. I didn't want to use gifts though, so
He'll kiss his cheek. Pat his head as Xavier runs off. Are you doing okay?
Oh, yeah and no. And yeah and no. And yeah and no.
That sounds very complicated.
It is. I have some major doubts in myself. I just got, while I was coming over here in my pack link, uh, because I kind of like fell apart on pack link the other night because I kind of was doubting myself because I was dealing with a vampire and the vampire was kind of like, we already had one person leave the sept, and like because we had one person leave the sept, then I felt bad that there was two more people leaving the sept and they're leaving the nation and everything. And then, well, on top of that all, I was talking about like what happened with mom and yada yada yada, and so I just kind of fell apart. And now Zhongli just challenged me for for pack alpha, and like I think I can win, but it's just like I have to come up with the challenge and everything now, and like I accept it and everything. I've been kind of busy like dealing with all this stuff.
So he violated the litany.
Huh? How did he violate the litany? Like it does not click.
Your sept is still at war, right?
He blinks for a second.
Thou shalt not challenge leaders during time of war.
I mean, true. Uh,
Now, granted, although your sept is not in an active state of war, your alpha has yet to say you are at peace yet. You are still in stress. So you technically don't have to accept the challenge, and furthermore, could actually. I'll smile at him. Beyond that, you don't have to accept the challenge. I'll shake his head. Jesus Christ, it's not an imperative.
true. I mean, I don't have to. And there are other very important things that we have to deal with right now.
There are.
But the way I see it, I'm going to accept the challenge afterwards. I'm not going to punish him for this, no. But I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is
Have you
halt.
ever considered that it might be a test upon your abilities as a Philofox?
I think so. I
Why do you feel like you have to please everybody?
don't know. It's just my curse.
Oh, and is it ever though? Anyway, you're fine. You'll be
You knew
fine.
you knew this from me since the day you met me.
I did.
Well, I don't know. Did you know this whenever I was born? Because I think you saw me when I was born once.
I did.
Did you know
A few
that
times.
when I was born?
I didn't know when you were born that you were cursed to be a. You know what? Let's just not. He'll shake his head.
To make everybody happy at the expense of my own.
Called
Hooray!
being a martyr, son. You should stop doing that thing.
Just call me Joan of Arc. It'll be fine.
Well, you're radiant like her anyway.
I'll just set myself ablaze.
You want me to get the gas? I'll help. I love you. Do you know where your stepfather is, by the way?
No, why? Oh, would he help?
No, I'm just wondering where the man is. He'll shake his head.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
He passes his
Isn't
lip out.
isn't he the
Direfo?
yeah?
Yes.
You don't know where your Direfo's at? That kind of.
You think you would focus on me not knowing where my husband is more than the fact that I don't know where the Direfo is. But he holds his hands up and he starts walking away.
Yeah, but what? Where are you going though? You're leaving me alone.
I'm just walking. You can walk with me. I'm not saying no. Fuck you, Darcy. Fuck off. Don't walk with me.
Well, you just said it now, so goodbye.
Go. Leave me.
I'm
You don't
kidding.
love me anyway.
I'm kidding. I love you.
No, you don't. You never call. You never write. When's the last time you came over for dinner? You don't need me.
I came over for dinner last week.
And then you. Okay.
God, you act like I don't care.
Well, maybe I feel like you don't. He's guilt tripping him so bad. But it's getting his mind off his bullshit, so.
So what he does is he just kind of like jumps forward and loops his arm with his, and he's like, "Okay, can we skip to find stepdaddy?"
He starts skipping. Skippy.
We're off to see the stepdaddy, the wonderful stepdaddy of
Peek. Looks for stepdaddy. At any point in time, he could fucking use Pulse of the Prey like an asshole, but why would he do that? So he looks for Morgan.
Okay, I can't do split screens, so I'll just be playing two players very awkwardly.
I have to end anyway soon, so I have to go somewhere.
Okay,
but you
so
can put Morgan up for a second, but I can. I have to go anyway soon.
Yeah, they find him.
Yeah, he'll skip up to Morgan.
Oh hey, what's up? He goes and like wraps his arms around Alistair. He literally just says, "What's up?" and just wraps his arms around Alistair just like that.
He'll kiss his cheek. He'll give him 1,000 kisses on his cheek and jaw, and then he'll look over at Darcy. He's like, "Hey Darcy, hey Darcy, hey Darcy."
What?
You want to see him freak out?
Yes. his eyes light up.
You want to see him freak out?
Yes.
He'll look back at Morgan with this glow in his eyes.
And Morgan just goes, "Don't."
He puts his mouth in that shape.
Oh. He whimpers.
He sees it on his lips.
Please stop. Oh my god.
What should I stop, Bernard?
And then Darcy said, "Bernard," and he's like, "I will end you."
What's wrong, Bernard?
I will kill both of you in your sleep.
Come on, Benny, it's not that bad.
He's just cringing.
He kisses his neck like.
You're gonna have to make up for me later.
No.
Yeah.
Like shave off my beard, literally makeup, or putting on the wigs and playing it like that tonight, or dinner and a back rub.
He just smiles.
Oh, fucked.
Darcy's like, "Wasn't my problem. You were the one who did that one. Bye-bye." And then Morgan like turns his head and he says, "Oh, you said it too."
Don't you dare! He'll pull him back.
I will shave his head.
No. No,
Darcy,
oh my God, no.
Darcy starts crying.
Do that. Oh my God, he'll just pull him backwards. Okay, son. Bye. I'll wave at him. Bye.
Bye. I'm never saying that name again.
I
Okay.
never say it again. I only say it when I want to get in trouble. And he'll grin it. And he'll pull Bernard off.
Oh. Oh.
I think we can end it there. Thank
Yep.
you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching.
Bye.